The Kalash culture cannot disappear. Our knowledge and wisdom are precious. You can only find us in the secret corner of the world. But by now, there are only a few Kalash left. If we also convert, then there will be nothing left for us.
This bridge connects the world from the Kalash Valley. They are often the ones most at risk from Taliban attacks. This road is truly terrifying. One of the most dangerous in the world, unfortunately. I really hope it'll be worth it, huh? Oh my God, I don't want to look. I don't want to look.
No one will remain to keep our traditions alive. How can we survive?
The Taliban beheaded a person and stole more than 600 goats.
My name is Giuseppe, and I have a mission: to travel the world, to meet the most extraordinary people on the planet, and to ask them a simple question. What does happiness mean to you? Welcome to Project Happiness. AK-47, yeah? Semi-automatic?
Semi-automatic. Fully and semi-automatic.
Okay. This adventure begins in a completely different way than usual, with some extra precautions because Zakir is accompanying us to one of the most remote areas of Pakistan, in the north at the border with Afghanistan, where in recent decades the Taliban have been forcibly converting all the nearby indigenous tribes, except one, the Kalash tribe, which is resisting by hiding, thanks to their knowledge of the territory, against the Taliban. They're resisting, maintaining their culture, their traditions, and we're trying to reach them. This time, it will not be easy, but the goal remains the same: to understand what happiness is for them. The Kalash. This name resonates like something mystical. They live isolated in a remote mountainous region of Pakistan, at the border with Afghanistan. In winter, these valleys become inaccessible. Buried in snow, they cut off the Kalash from the rest of the world for entire months. And here, where time seems to have stopped, they are the only and last animist community. By now, they are surrounded by extremist Islamic groups in the region, such as the Taliban, and are even called the enemies of Allah. The Kalash indeed believe in a multitude of gods and spirits, particularly linked to nature and the seasons. This unfortunately makes them targets for persecution, because their culture is seen as a threat to the religious order that extremist Islamic groups seek to impose. Over the centuries, the Kalash have been repeatedly attacked and forced to convert. Today, they are reduced to a few thousand, hidden in the rugged valleys of the Chitral Valley, where the mountains act as a shield against attacks, but do not completely protect them. The Taliban raids continue to be a constant threat, and Kalash women in particular are often targeted, kidnapped, forcibly converted, and forced into Islamic marriages. This relentless struggle for cultural survival against Taliban forces is an integral part of the Kalash history. Being a Kalash means resisting. The road takes us through remote villages, where life follows rules that seem impenetrable. The Quran is the law here, and in the dusty streets of the market, I see almost only men. The very few women are entirely covered by burqas, not even revealing their eyes.
Why there are only men?
Women are at home, taking care of the family.
Women who want to do the shopping can go to another street, where there is a separate store just for them. Even the shopkeepers there are women, but usually they don't go out. Only men could go out to buy goods or clothes. We protect our women like precious gems.
Dozens of checkpoints slow our journey, and each time the tension seems to grow more and more. They check us, ask our documents, but I see worry in their eyes, as if they're wondering, what are two Westerners doing here? We're not regular tourists, and they know it. However, to them, we could be a prize for the Taliban, a valuable ransom. And every time we report back, I feel a mix of relief and fear. We resume the road, a winding dirt path that snakes through dizzying ravines and sharp edges. Our driver keeps skimming the edge, as if he wanted to see us suffer. But I'm not afraid at all. Oh my God, I don't want to look. I don't want to look. I really hope it'll be worth it, huh? Oh my God. There's incredible traffic. And this road is truly, truly terrifying. One of the most dangerous in the world, unfortunately. These roads seem almost like a rite of passage. Only those who manage to overcome them will cross the threshold into a world that exists only in these valleys. We had to stop at this checkpoint. In fact, there are many along the route. Here, the Pakistani army controls who passes, who enters, and who leaves. But especially at this checkpoint, this bridge connects the world from the Kalash Valley, and thus from the Kalash tribe. And they're often the ones most at risk from Taliban attacks. In fact, in recent days, there have been attacks. And for this reason, the bridge has been closed. So now, we'll wait for a moment. We'll get in the car to see if they'll let us pass, but everything should be okay. The soldiers warn us. A few days ago, there was an attack, the Taliban against the police. This checkpoint is a thin line keeping danger away, but it is a constant threat. This time it wasn't exactly a walk in the park, but we made it. We arrived in the Kalash village. And there it is. The Kalash stronghold nestled in this alpine Eden. Among the imposing peaks of these valleys that guard centuries of history and unaltered traditions. They say they descended from the warriors of Alexander the Great, an idea that, true or not, makes this story even more legendary. Their stone houses almost look like eagles' nests clinging to the mountains. The Kalash houses reflect their respect and deep connection with the nature. In fact, if you look, these houses are handmade. The house frames are made of wood, the wood from the valley's trees. The stones and the roof are the most interesting part because the roof is made of earth. The valley soil, which is a perfect natural thermal insulator, can protect even when it gets down to -10 degrees here in winter. Perhaps it is due to the beautiful traditional clothing of Kalash women or to their welcoming expressions. But after the difficult journey that brought us here, it feels like the world has finally regained its colors. Here, women are not just part of the community, they are its soul. Free, proud, almost regal. They represent a sort of matriarchy, making the most important decisions for the village. They're free to choose their partners and can seek a divorce without social stigma. A stark contrast compared to most of Pakistan, where women's rights are still very limited. It's incredible. The atmosphere is completely different from all the villages we passed through to get here. In fact, it's impossible not to notice that until now. We've only met women in the village. They're wonderful, dressed in their traditional clothes, the Piran, black wool garments, decorated with colorful beads and geometric shapes. And then there is the main detail, the most important accessory of traditional women's clothing, the shushut, the headpiece they always wear. But what does it mean to be a Kalash man here? This gentleman with a kind look tells me.
Being a man in Kalash is a source of pride. We're all equal. Some gather wood, others raise goats. We all try to support the community. Women can take care of farming or other tasks. They don't have a set role. They're free to choose. But usually, we prefer the heavy work while they handle the more mental tasks. That's why women often make the most important decisions. We trust them. It should be noted that they are also good farmers. And rest assured, here, the women earn respect.
Did you notice? The men dress much more plainly compared to the women. They wear the classic Pakistani shirt called a kameez, and the hat, the headpiece is called a pakol, which is typical of the mountainous areas of Pakistan. Not everyone is welcome in the village, though. We were able to enter only thanks to Jasmine, a young Kalash woman with a strong desire to protect and share her culture. And despite being only 16 years old, she's very enterprising. She was the one who convinced her mother to host us in their home, because she sees in us an opportunity to open a window into her world and show everyone what is at risk of disappearing. When we enter the house, Jasmine's mother is preparing breakfast. It is a solemn, almost sacred moment. They tell me that for them, breakfast is the most important meal. They eat little, but healthily, with simple ingredients that, according to them, are the secret to longevity. I feel honored to document these intimate moments. In the past, Kalash longevity was thought to be just a legend, but now, science supports their lifestyle. One of the elements that make the Kalash live longer is, indeed, walnuts. Walnuts are used in every meal, first on an empty stomach, and also as cooking oil, and as a condiment. They always eat them because I believe it is truly their secret to a longer and healthier life. With this, she'll make bread and chai. The chai is totally different from what is prepared in Pakistan. They season it with walnuts.
In the past, we ate lots of walnuts. They were very abundant here. Our ancestors mostly ate cheese, homemade ghee, and walnuts. That's why they live longer. Now, even here, industrial products filled with preservatives have arrived. Indeed, we've become weak, we get sick. In the past, people lived much longer. They easily reached 120 or 150 years. Now we die quickly, at 70.
As the mother talks about food, she lets slip a story that strikes me a lot. It's just a hint, then she quickly changes the subject. But that moment of vulnerability makes me understand how fragile their balance is here.
Unfortunately, everything is changing. Our ancestors owned vast lands with lots of livestock. Now, however, they're afraid to go out to tend the livestock. They are afraid because if you leave the village, you might not come back. It happened twice recently. Once, the Taliban beheaded one of our men and stole more than 600 goats. Another time, they killed and slaughtered him to steal between 500 and 700 goats. That's why we're afraid to even tend the livestock.
It's fascinating to see with what care and love they're preparing the walnut bread, which I believe will be delicious. But the most interesting thing is observing the typical Kalash oven, with this rectangular stove that radiates heat, thus heating the top, which becomes a kind of griddle. And right in that griddle, they bake their traditional bread to achieve perfect cooking. For the last few minutes, the woman placed the bread inside the oven and, of course, it got covered in ashes. But that's not a problem. In fact, it's done on purpose because for them, the ashes are a powerful antibacterial. So they also leave a layer of ash on the bread, which gives it a certain flavor.
Good?
Good.
Yes.
This is one of their secrets to longevity. In reality, they're all very simple methods. For example, the woman is now rehydrating dried apricots, which she will make a juice, apricot juice. This is another of their tricks for a long and healthy life.
Very good. Very good.
Actually, it's not even ready yet. She just soaked the apricots, but it's already delicious. Very good. Very good. Really tasty. Very flavorful. Because the dough contains a generous amount of salt, which is another ingredient for the elixir of long life that is actually right in front of me. It seems with walnuts, so walnut oil, walnuts, salt for the minerals, and all the beneficial properties of the apricots that are consumed as juice every morning. This is the Kalash's elixir of long life. It's really delicious because it's like flavored water. It's not a real juice. It's the apricots that became very soft in the water and then are all shredded into apricot flavored water, and well, it's exquisite. After breakfast, I have the fortune to witness a ritual that has been passed down from mother to daughter for generations. Washing hair here is not just an act of personal care, but a deeply symbolic ceremony. The river water, pure and fresh, is considered a gift from the gods. And washing hair in these waters is a ritual of connection between nature and the deities who govern every aspect of life. Time in this valley seems to stretch, respecting the rhythms of nature and those of man. Jasmine invites us to her peaceful corner, the back of her house, where she spends afternoons embroidering, and I take the opportunity to learn more about her tribe.
The Kalash culture cannot disappear. Our knowledge and wisdom are precious. Our traditions protect centuries of history that explain the present. You can only find us in this secret corner of the world. In past years, the Taliban have killed many Kalash. Now our people are more protected. If they were to attack us now, army troops would come to defend us. But despite this, our culture is fading because they push us to convert. What can we do? Every Kalash has their own will. We cannot impose ourselves. Everyone must feel their own heart. If someone freely wants to convert to Islam, I accept it. But if someone wants to defend the Kalash culture, they cannot force us. By now, there are only a few Kalash left. If they convert even the few you see here, then we'll have nothing left. No one will remain to keep our traditions alive. How can we survive? Do you know what makes us happy? To be able to freely celebrate our ceremonies for every season. This is what we have left to be happy.
Jasmine is determined to protect her culture at all costs. And despite her young age, she's already aware that this will be her life's mission. A mission she deeply shares with her mother.
I am dedicated to protecting Kalash women and defending our traditions. We need them to keep our clan alive. We are few, but we must be strong. No one will give us anything without a fight. I teach them the importance of our culture, to pass it on to the children. Even if ignored, we continue to resist. Every time a new woman joins, I share what I've learned from my ancestors. I represent all of us, and I feel this responsibility. Our future depends on what we defend today. I want our people to grow and not be forgotten. We do not want to harm.
I came here from very far away to understand what's the meaning of happiness for the Kalash tribe. Can you help me to understand what's happiness here in this beautiful valley?
Protecting our culture gives me strength and joy. Being the voice of my people is a great pride. I fight for the education and well-being of Kalash women. I do everything I can to give them better opportunities. I love education, even though I have had few opportunities. I want them to be strong and aware in the world. They must know how to face everything that life brings their way. It's not just education, it's the ability to choose their future. Without education, there is no future, and we cannot allow that.
Saigal's mission is clear: resist to exist. Every day she must fight to keep her culture alive, despite external pressures and the threats looming over her people. Every gesture, every festivity, every moment shared with her daughter becomes an act of resistance against oblivion, a challenge against a world that tries to erase what they proudly preserve. Being a Kalash woman means being the pillar of one's community, protecting not only one's beliefs, but also the freedom to express oneself, to live according to the rhythms of nature and their gods. In a world where so much is lost, for Kalash women, happiness is simply the ability to continue to be.